The shadow in your room. It's late at night. The house is silent, so silent that it almost feels like the world has stopped turning. The clock ticks away the minutes, each passing second a reminder that time, though constant, feels as though it's grinding to a halt in this empty, quiet room. You lie in bed, pulled tight under the covers, the softness of the blankets comforting at first, but soon the sensation becomes stifling. The warmth surrounds you, but it's suffocating, and the stillness of the room presses in from all sides. You close your eyes and try to relax, but no matter how hard you try, sleep refuses to come. Something is off, and you can't put your finger on it. It's just the darkness. It's always been this quiet at night. The house always settles in the same way, with creaks in the walls and the occasional thud of a distant floorboard. But tonight feels different. The silence feels too thick, too heavy. It presses against your chest and refuses to let go. You shift in bed, turning onto your side. The moonlight peeks through the curtains, casting faint shadows on the walls. The shadows stretch, twisting in the corner of your eye. You turn to face the other direction, trying to convince yourself that it's nothing more than the way the light falls in the room. But then, you hear it. A sound, software barely perceptible, like the faintest brush of fabric against fabric. You freeze. Your heart skips a beat. It couldn't be. Could it? You stay as still as possible, listening. There's nothing now, no further sound, no creak of the house, no rustle in the dark. But then, there it is again. The sound, closer this time, almost like someone's moving in the room, just beyond the edge of your vision. Your pulse quickens. You strain your ears, searching the darkness, but you don't dare move. You don't want to acknowledge the thought that's creeping into your mind. What if someone is here? What if someone broke in? No, that's impossible. The doors are locked. You would have heard them. Still, that feeling remains, creeping into your thoughts, wrapping around you like a vice. The air feels thick, as though it's pressing down from above. You close your eyes for a moment, willing yourself to relax. It's nothing. It's just the house settling, you tell yourself. Nothing more. But then the rustling comes again. This time it's louder, closer, unmistakable. A soft exhale, the kind of sound someone makes when they're standing just out of sight, breathing, waiting. Your breath catches in your throat. You try to convince yourself that it's your imagination, but the sensation in your chest, the chill running down your spine, tells you otherwise. You turn over slowly, eyes flicking around the room. The moonlight casts long shadows across the floor, stretching like fingers reaching toward you. The room is dark, the shapes in the corners blurred and indistinct. You want to reach out and turn on the light, but you're afraid of what you might see. Your eyes linger on the far corner of the room. You stare hard, trying to make out shapes in the darkness. There's the dresser, the chair. The door is slightly ajar, just as you left it. But there's something else, too. Something wrong. The shadows there seem deeper, darker, somehow more substantial than they should be. It's just your mind. You try to rationalize it. Shadows do strange things in the dark. The mind plays tricks when you're alone. It's all in your head. But the feeling is still there, growing. The hairs on your arms stand up. The weight of the air in the room presses on you, and you know you're not alone. The very thought of it terrifies you, even though you don't want to admit it. Something is here, watching. You try to ignore it. You force your breathing to slow, trying to calm the rising panic in your chest. But the longer you lie there, the worse it gets. The shadows in the corner of the room seem to be shifting, moving. Just out of the corner of your eye, you see something. A shape. Something there. It's not just the darkness, it's something darker. Your heart races, you can't breathe. The air is too thick now. Your pulse pounds in your ears. The darkness seems to be moving. It's impossible, but you know you're seeing it. The shadows are shifting like something is stirring in the dark. It's impossible to make out, but you can feel it, feel something. Presence, something alive. You try to turn away, to hide under the covers, to block it out, but the feeling only intensifies. It's as if the room has grown smaller, as though the walls are closing in around you, the shadows are spreading. You feel them creeping closer, but you can't look. You can't turn around. You can't do anything but lie there, frozen. The seconds stretch into minutes, each one feeling longer than the last. You feel trapped in the silence, in the waiting. What's happening? Is this a dream? You blink rapidly, hoping it will go away. The seconds stretch into minutes, each one feeling longer than the last. You feel trapped in the silence, in the waiting. What's happening? Is this a dream? You blink rapidly, hoping it will go away, but the pressure remains. The shadows are closer now. They're shifting, moving, like something's slowly rising from the floor. Something that wasn't there before. And then you hear it. A soft, rasping breath. You turn your head slowly, instinctively. You want to scream, but your throat is dry, your voice gone. You don't want to look, but you do. You can't help it. And you see it. A shape. A dark, almost indistinguishable silhouette in the corner of the room. It's standing just outside the pool of moonlight. It's taller than a person, but too dark to make out any details. You see no eyes, no face, just the shape. And it's moving. It's coming closer, ever so slowly, like it's drawn toward you. Your heart is beating out of your chest, pounding so hard that you can feel it in your throat, in your mouth. Your mind races, telling you to move, to get out of bed, to scream, to run. But your body won't respond. You can't move. You can't scream. You're paralyzed by fear. It takes another step, and another. Its form remains indistinct, but you can feel it. You can feel the presence, the heavy air pressing against you like an invisible force. Your mind tries to make sense of it. It's just a shadow. Just the room, the way the light plays tricks. It's not real, but you know it is. It's not a trick of the light. It's here, with you, now. It moves again, closer, and then it stops. You can't tell why, but you know it's waiting for something, for you to move, for you to look away, to break the silence. It's waiting for you to make the first move so it can... You blink, you feel it. An icy breath against the back of your neck. And then you realize the worst part of all. The shadow isn't coming toward you from the corner. It's coming from inside you. It was there all along, hiding in the darkness of your mind, in the places you don't want to go. And now it's waiting, watching, inside your head. The room is completely silent again. There's no more breathing, no more movement. The shadow is gone. You sit up, but the air is still thick. The oppressive weight has lifted, but you can feel the memory of it hanging in the room like a lingering fog. You blink again, unsure of what just happened. Was it a dream? Did you imagine it? But deep down, you know the truth. It wasn't a trick of the light. It wasn't your imagination. It was real. And it's still there somewhere, waiting for you to fall asleep again. Waiting for you to turn your back, waiting for you to blink,